Welcome back to the channel. This is the Ordinary Guy 2.0, and if you've been here, then you already know we're not here for motivation. We're here for transformation. Last week we talked about structure. We talked about responsibility. We ended with discipline, the foundation that most men never had. But now, we step into something deeper. Because once discipline enters your life, something begins to change. Not just your habits, not just your routine. You. So this week's series is called The Man You Become After Discipline. And episode 1 is this: you don't rise, you're rebuilt. Discipline doesn't add, it removes. Most men think growth looks like adding more. More motivation, more information, more habits, more goals. But real growth doesn't start with addition, it starts with subtraction. Discipline doesn't just build you, it strips you. It removes the laziness you got comfortable with. It removes the excuses you protected. It removes the habits that felt good but kept you stuck. Let me give you a picture. Imagine a sculptor standing in front of a block of stone. To the untrained eye, it's just a heavy rock. But the sculptor sees something inside it, and he doesn't add anything to it. He starts removing, chipping, cutting, striking. Piece by piece, the excess falls away, until what was always inside is revealed. That's what discipline does. It removes everything that isn't aligned with the man you're supposed to become. And the process doesn't feel like growth, it feels like loss, because you're losing parts of yourself you've been holding on to for years. Letting go of old habits and old identity. Here's the part most men struggle with. It's not just habits that need to go, it's identity. Because habits are tied to who you believe you are. If you believe you're the type of man who procrastinates, you'll protect procrastination. If you believe you're inconsistent, you'll repeat inconsistency. So when discipline enters your life, it doesn't just challenge your behavior, it challenges your identity. And that's uncomfortable. Because now, you're not just changing what you do, you're changing who you've been. Let me give you a parable. There's a man who has worn the same coat his entire life. It's torn, worn out, and doesn't fit him anymore. But it's familiar, it's comfortable. One day, someone hands him a new coat. It fits better. It's stronger. It represents who he's becoming. But he hesitates. Not because the new coat isn't better, but because taking it off means letting go of who he used to be. A lot of men are still wearing coats that don't fit them anymore. Old habits, old environments, old mindsets. And discipline is the moment you finally take it off. Why most men relapse into their old self. Now here's the truth nobody talks about. Most men don't fail because they lack knowledge. They fail because they return to familiarity. You can build discipline for a week, a month, even a season. But if you don't change your identity, you will go back. Because your old self is comfortable. Your old environment is familiar. Your old habits are easy. It's like a man who leaves a city to build a new life. Makes progress, he grows, he becomes better, but then one day, visits home. Same people, same conversations, same patterns. And slowly, he starts acting like the old version of himself again. Not because he wants to, but because it's familiar. That's why discipline alone isn't enough. You must outgrow your old self, not just outperform him. Identity vs. behavior, the real shift. Most men focus on behavior. I need to wake up earlier. I need to work harder. I need to stay consistent. But behavior without identity is temporary, because behavior is what you do. Identity is who you are. And who you are always wins. Let me explain it like this. If a man sees himself as undisciplined, but tries to act disciplined, he's in conflict. Eventually, he returns to what feels natural. But if a man becomes disciplined in identity, his behavior follows automatically. He doesn't force it, he becomes it. It's like a man who sees himself as a runner. He doesn't debate whether to run, he runs, because that's who he is. So the real shift is not, what should I do? It's, who am I becoming? It's becoming unfamiliar to your old environment. Here's where it gets real. As you rebuild, you will become unfamiliar to people who knew the old you. That can feel lonely. Because the same people who were comfortable with your old version may not understand your new one. You stop doing certain things. You stop showing up the same way. Stop entertaining the same conversations. And suddenly, there's distance. Not because you think you're better, but because you're becoming different. Let me give you one last picture. There's a man who outgrows a small room he's been living in his entire life. At one point, it fit him. But now, he can't stand up straight without hitting the ceiling, so he moves into a bigger space. Now when he looks back at the old room, it feels tight, feels limiting. You stop entertaining the same conversations. That's what growth feels like. You don't hate your past, you just don't fit in it anymore. So here's the question I want you to sit with after this episode. Are you trying to rise? Or are you willing to be rebuilt? Because rising feels good, but rebuilding changes everything. If this message spoke to you, I want you to drop this in the comments. I'm rebuilding. Let that be your declaration. Make sure you like this video, share it with someone who's still holding on to their old self. And most importantly, subscribe. Because this series right here is about becoming a different man. Not temporarily, but permanently. This is the Ordinary Guy 2.0. Responsibility before ego. See you next time.